34 things for working people that Republicans are now going to saying that they want to cut. Again, we don't have anything formal yet, but what happened was the Jody Arrington, the Republican from Texas, Congressman Arrington, he's on the House Budget Committee. I believe he's its chair. I might be wrong. But apparently via him, Politico just got their hands on this document about what the House Budget Committee is planning on cutting. You know, where the cuts are going to happen. How are they going to pay for the tax breaks for Elon Musk and for Mark Zuckerberg and for Donald Trump and for, you know, all the other billionaires. And here's the list. Number one, they want to repeal major Biden health rules. This is going to save $420 billion. They're going to do away with mandatory staff minimums in nursing homes. They're going to do away with prohibitions of discrimination in Affordable Care Act plans, telehealth, and AI. They're going to do away with increased protections for people with disabilities. And they're going to do away with new network requirements for psychological services. So that they think is going to save them $400 billion. They want us, quote, strengthen Medicare for seniors. That's going to save them almost $500 billion. They're going to do this by doing away with what's called uncompensated care and bad debt. What this is Medicare reimburses hospitals that provide services to people who have no insurance and are broke, right? If you're poor and you show up at a hospital and they provide you with services, whatever you need, it is paid for by Medicare. And, through this fund. It's a large amount of money. And these are called disproportionate share hospitals. So cutting this is going to save hundreds of billions of dollars. It's going to mean hospitals are no longer serving people who don't have insurance. You're going to have a lot more people die. And a lot of rural and small hospitals are going to close, particularly hospitals in poor neighborhoods where a large percentage of the people showing up don't have the money to pay for services. They also say they want to make Medicaid work for the most vulnerable. This is $2.3 trillion. They're going to put into place per capita caps on Medicaid. That will cut Medicaid reimbursements by almost $1 trillion, $918 billion. In other words, basically, Medicaid is just not going to pay for things anymore. They're going to equalize Medicaid payments for able-bodied adults. This is $600 billion, 690. This is fancy language for saying if you can't get a job, you can't get Medicaid. And of course, once you get a job, you're no longer eligible for Medicaid. So it's a real catch-22.
All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash, the belongs to apostles of GMS, and sincere Shalom to the brothers out here pushing this truth and sincerity. And if this is coming out as an actual factual thing, if they decide to go through with it, in which we're not surprised because we've been saying for years that they're going to cut a lot of this stuff anyways. Not just with food stamps, which he does mention later on near the end of this, but as you heard, a lot of your benefits that really kind of relate towards poor people, because you don't have a middle class anymore. You have a low class and a high class, the poor and the rich. That's all you get. Middle class is basically not even a thing no more. So, with a lot of this stuff that's going on, it's no surprise. So they're making budget cuts, and with budget cuts comes more frustration from other people, and especially since people got comfortable in this society. Free Medicaid, free a lot of this stuff. Once that's taken, people pissed off. Just like how people like to complain or get thrown into a whole mob fit when their laws get taken away. These people will not understand, nor would they be satisfied with the fact that no matter who you are in this society, you do not matter. Your rights, your benefits, it's all temporary stuff. And this is, of course, ultimately to crash this place anyways. At least one of the ways to do it. So the people will be you can expect a lot more riots coming up soon if they decide to go with this. Which by if I mean they will. When, don't know, but it's definitely a given. Because all things that's good in wicked societies must come to an end. I was just watching another video about infrastructure, about the infrastructure of America, pretty much dwindling. I might do a video on it or just might showcase it. But it was like they was even going to like the past civilizations, such as primarily Rome, where infrastructure was a big thing, of course, with military and money. Once you take those things away, because with military money and infrastructure comes with a lot of benefits. Once you take those away, you got nothing else really work for. You just another civilization that's just there, crumbling, decaying, and that's this place. That's why we say that this place is on this last leg because it's been beaten so much that the Babylon, this whore Babylon's leg has been decapitated. So let me get this scripture real quick. This is Haggai 1:6. It says, "Ye have sown much, and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes." And that's your everyday life. I mean, why else would they tax the hell out of you? The more money you make, the more they take. That was not not the famous language, famous saying. I mean, for all the things that this place does, you would think that they would put money into the infrastructure with all these taxes that they put onto you. Now, I'm not just talking about from your checks. I'm talking about from literally anything you buy. It's a tax. Gas included. Even when you take money out, taxes. So you have the question, where all this money going? And as time goes on, people starting to see it. They go to everywhere else but here. You got Babylon giving money to the Ukraine, to England, to China, you name it. The list goes on, even to Japan. But the people here that are struggling, especially the low tier ones, they just work to survive another day. Of course, there's not to say they need some jobs where you can make a lot of money, but again, they still taking a good portion of your hard-earned money that you work for. So, and then you gotta worry about bills and all sorts of stuff. So, it's a lot that people gotta go through in this society that even other countries do not really have to go through, because they don't have the same marketeering mindset as this place. But they come from a little bit of a harder background than this place. We grew up spoiled, so we all we know is go to school, go to college, get a degree, get a good job, or work at McDonald's. And if you get this good job, you have to do the same routine over and over again. Work hard at your job, go home, barely do anything, get up and go do the routine again to basically have to retire. And all that money that you earn still going into the bag of holes because you got all sorts of stuff to pay. So, point is, you're gonna have a global collapse with all these things that's going on, because all the budget cuts mean something. Means that, especially since the value of the dollar is dropping, which everything else is going up. So you could imagine something about to happen. This is Ecclesiastes 12:3. It says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened." So, and that's what you're going to have, is a lot of people miserable coming out here. That's why they're upset, because all the things that's going on, all their Medicaid benefits are gone. The benefits they got even from their jobs is gone because they're making cuts. The good life you think you was going to have didn't even happen, because you're still struggling to deal with phase one of life of this workforce. That the benefits go to these other healers, which is crazy enough. They get better benefits than even the so-called American citizen gets. So when that time crunches start happening with the when businesses start closing down, police force start closing down, all sorts of stuff because money ain't there no more. What do you think is going to happen? The Lord told us that this is not our rest, though He was only telling the hopeful like that, because these people ain't meant to get it. These people still will go out. These people will be broke as hell and still find a way to get all these Christmas presents, put up all these decorations and Hollywood and all these other holiday stuff, and then they wonder why they can't go nowhere. They wonder how they're gonna find a way to be able to pay their rent. There's so many things here that pretty much keeps us in that mindset. I must buy this. I must buy that. And even I was caught up to it in a degree of point. Suppose you're just doing the same thing with the same amount of money every time. The survival instincts for generations is pretty much basically gone. Even though you got some, I mean, I won't say it's gone, but it's kind of shot. Because you do have in these newer generations that do know how to survive will try to go out, bust the ass, and all so on and so forth. Hats off to them. But when it comes down to not being able to get anything that's not money related, we don't know the first thing about being able to survive out in the wilds like that unless you actually are pretty much trained to do so. So when this place comes to a close and people scrambling around, they're going to try to wonder what happened to my beautiful country. It's not a thing no more. I mean, you look at people now; they pissed off, they protest and all sorts of stuff, right? So you can see that these people is pretty much lost in hope of this society. But the best way I could put it, they can't find that itch. They can't scratch that itch they be trying to scratch because they have nothing to scratch it with, right? This is Ecclesiasticus 5:7. It says, "Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance." So that's why we do what we do, as far as the hopeful elect, or the ones that's trying to actually pretty much get out of this place, is because we don't want that same destruction that these people want to get. I'm talking about even, of course, this scripture talking about as far as perishing in the day of vengeance, but let's even backtrack before that, because all this stuff that's happening is basically from the Lord's wrath, anyways. So we don't want to be caught up in a mindset, I wish this place stayed a little longer, or we don't want that mindset that, or we don't want the judgment that comes with the falling of this place, as far as um, uh, the plague of the mind, as far as you know the delusional state that these people have, or resorting to some type of heinous act. We want to keep praying to make sure that we don't end up like these people when this place collapse and people gotta start fighting for themselves or and doing all sorts of stuff. We don't want to end up in that how should I say corrupt mindset that basically we lose our minds over this place and then have to serve. They end up on the judgment list of the Lord for not hearkening unto Him, right? Because these people get what they're gonna get. These grandmothers or family members are going to throw a fit over what's lost. They're the ones that's going to suffer through it. We'll probably feel some of it, but the Lord provides as always. He always guides His hopeful elect to where they need to go, even if we should perish in this truth. At least we're perishing for something worthy instead of something unworthy and unrighteous that's full of delinquency that we can't gain a single profit from. So this is why we remain vigilant, because when that stuff closed down, we gotta be prepared and actually make sure we're still strong enough to handle struggle out here, getting more, try to do what we got to do, right? So that's all I wanted to go into. So, little one, this is a little edifying. And with that, shalom.